Hey friends, this is Rob. I'm going to talk you through my PT cycle. My PT cycle is focused on whether or not we should continue worshiping in our sanctuary or move to our chapel space, which actually is the old sanctuary. Of course, that's the part of the naming activity, the focus of this PT cycle. And as you can see in this little picture here, this is from the pulpit and kind of pans out, and you can see kind of a lot of the empty spaces throughout the pews. I'm going to move right into the analysis here, and there's going to be a little bit of a video, and this video is of the worship service this past Sunday. And of course, you can hear a little bit of "Here We Are to Worship." And as I pan around, you can see. Well, first off, it's a very beautiful sanctuary, but you can see a lot of empty spaces. Get back here into the back, and you can see this wonderful children's area where you can keep your children occupied if you want to. But painted back, you can see more of the spaces that are empty and not filled. And this has really just caused us to kind of say, can we do something about this? We encourage people to move forward. That doesn't work. So should we move to that smaller space? Continuing the analysis in this second video, you start to see the. I'm going to walk you to the chapel. Of course, this is the narthex, the greeting area. This door right here was the actual entrance to the church back in the 60s. It used to be a two-lane road instead of four-lane road out there, and you could park there and walk right into that gathering area. It's very convenient. Of course, there it is. There's the sanctuary. And as we move back around, we're going to walk down this hallway. And when we walk this hallway, you start seeing this door right here. We're kind of coming to this little threshold. That threshold actually goes into the old building. So anything past this way or back behind me is built in the 60s. And this was the original church. And here's the Sunday school rooms. And now here's the chapel space. Walk in here and you can immediately see how much less room there is. There's still some high ceilings, but definitely a lot less foot room here. I'm going to walk up here on the platform, and you can see from there what we would see there. Of course, the picture earlier, all those people would fill up that space. And there is a balcony up there, but it is inaccessible right now. That was one of the things that we thought about. And okay, right there in the middle, that's the that stained glass is actually the original entrance. So when they moved this to the new space, they took out the door and they put up that stained glass to kind of honor all the saints that had come through. And just to think about all the people that have been saved and had significant moments in our lives right there. That's part of the reason why we thinking about either moving worship there or having a throwback service, if you will. Really thought about the idea that in this room, in this space, this is where the people dreamed of the great idea to have that larger sanctuary. And of course, when they dreamed that dream, um, they didn't think of a sanctuary that wouldn't be full. So yeah, this is there's a cross. And when we get into the study and reflection, the Acts verse that we use is one that maybe just kind of think about the idea of moving into a closer knit space and to come into a more community. And it really reflects the vision of our church. But ultimately, if we wanted to rent out our sanctuary space, the church that would take over would have to have the same heart for the community. And so ultimately, this is probably one of the reasons why we would not keep a continuous worship in the chapel. When we start talking about the recalling the stories and determining the values, the church has been in a decline for so long, and but something that always just comes up is that how rich the community was when they met in the chapel and how invigorated they were, and that was the time when they dreamed the big dreams to have the sanctuary of the size that we have now, and they saw it full, and so that would benefit us most to have that, just have a I don't know like a flashback service, and to honor that dream. And so that would be probably the shape that we take from this PT cycle is that we would desire to have a worship service there in a chapel for a flashback, for a remembrance, for a reinvigoration of the dream and the vision of a full sanctuary that would complement the idea of reaching out to our neighborhood and being that missional church that really sees a vibrant change coming to Flint. All right, guys, thanks.